business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador. The Chantry raised...
¿No terminaron las investigaciones? Ah, sí. No me salió la notificación. Nos quedaba una que quedaba de este lado. Esta.
Let us begin.
Vamos con la vía pacífica. La dejamos a...
Let's see what we have.
Lo hubiera puesto a Cullen, pero bueno. Bueno, habrá que vender las cosas.
Please tell me if you find something.
Yo creo que ya lo hice.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corpin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
Oh.
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power, instead of comforting the masses.
The Chantry couldn't solve its own problems when it had a divine.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevarra, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andraste's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
Are you sure? Families often fight the hardest.
Having grown up among four siblings, I concede your point. I found, however, that the only time two parties cannot negotiate is when they cease to speak. We must learn to think beyond our own wants, to secure peace in Thedas.
The Inquisition is only here to seal the breach, nothing more.
We've become more than that by helping the mages. The powers have taken notice. Speaking of which, I have a question, if you've the time. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
I'll tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you. What may I do for you?
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lady Drummond promised a visit, She has useful resources if we can get her to set aside her games.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little boards with carved idols from the winter. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards, if she insists on a match. Good day to you.
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be...
Any visit?
None in particular.
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the rebel mages. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
It would be difficult for us to do worse.
Harshly spoken, but difficult to deny. In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
Farewell.
Until next time. You return.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Magic exists to serve
Se van, Vivienne se va a enojar.
If Fiona and her malcontents are joining us as allies, we need to be prepared. Abominations are inevitable. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
These mages joined us freely. We don't need Templars to contain them.
My dear, I don't think you've grasped the magnitude of the situation. The veil is broken, and the raw power of the Fade rushes out like floodwaters through a shattered levee. You know as well as I do that mages attract demons where the veil is thin. And if demons can walk our world with no blood magic to summon them, how safe do you think our allies are? There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
You have a low opinion of your fellow mages?
It's not a matter of opinion, my dear. I have a close relationship with reality. Many of our colleagues do not. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
I don't think the mages of the Imperium would agree with you.
Drunkards rarely agree that they ought to stop drinking. I wouldn't use them as role models. Do you know how young mages are found? A little girl has a nightmare, and in her sleep, she burns her house down. A teenage boy has a fit, and lightning rips his mother to pieces. You know how these stories go. Perhaps you lived one. People don't learn the fear of magic at Chantry services, my dear. They learn it from us. Tell me something. As you will no doubt have a hand in shaping it, what future do you see for mages?
Mages should be treated like anybody else.
You are not the first to forget that the walls of our towers kept the wolves out as much as they kept us in. We hate the Templars when they stand over us in judgment, but we thank them with all our hearts when they keep the mob at bay. It's something to consider, my dear. Oh, darling, you look terrible.
Tiene una aprobación bastante mala. Pero bueno, siempre me pasa esto con Vivienne al principio.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know? Oh, darling, you look terrible.
I'd like to know more about you, Madame Vivienne.
How sweet of you, my dear.
Mages. Lovely. They should have this breach sealed soon enough.
Your open support for the mages likely earned you enemies. Our agents will monitor the situation. If the most opposed can be identified, we may still turn this to our advantage.
People can hate me if they wish.
That gets us nowhere. The Inquisition is young. We need to build our support. Regardless, I applaud you for the courage to stand up for the mages.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
It was still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
Qué grosa Elena.
Anything I should know?
Altegan has returned to Redcliffe Castle and resumed his duties as lord. The people are returning, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our show of support for the mages has angered many.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
Bueno, ahora vamos a tener que charlar con Dorian. Acá está.
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Hallam-Sharal? Cows milking farmers?
There was no other choice.
Oh, there were definitely other choices. You picked the one that'll shock the children. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
I don't believe that.
It's true. The conditions here are different. Southern mages aren't used to ruling. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Dificultad, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
You certainly think highly of yourself.
It's true. I could be more modest, but I'd be lying. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems so much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care deeply about everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
What do you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Igual se convirtió en Maese. En el Dragon Age de Belgar. Yo a Dorian lo hice que se convierta en un Maese.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters. I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the Magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later, lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a Quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of Magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce the Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah, blah, blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
That's true. I feel the same.
My, someone's full of themselves, aren't they?
I was just agreeing with you.
Don't agree on my account. A little doubt wouldn't harm the Herald of Andraste. Me? I've seen too much to believe I know everything. The world is bigger than I. Even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe. But I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly. Many magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion too. Of course, what people call blood magic here and what we consider blood magic are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise, and then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
At least they're free. They don't have slavery forced on them.
You think people choose to be poor and oppressed? I doubt it. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
Not yet, no. I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew. It occurs to me that you're a mage.
That just occurred to you.
I meant, you must have been part of the circle of Magi in the south, meaning you were locked away like a criminal, at least until you rebelled. It's such a bizarre notion to me.
Why do you think we rebelled?
A lack of civilized entertainment, clearly. I've been to your southern taverns. It's more surprising that everyone would take the idea of a mage inquisitor so calmly. Maybe it's not calm. Maybe the Antivan crows are swimming in gold from all the contracts on your life. Good luck with that, by the way. Grand fun being the one in charge.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me. What's on your mind?
I should go.
As you wish.
A ver, me voy a fijar. Dice que al mago está en la celda. A ver si está acá. Acá tenemos unas celdas. No, no hay nadie acá.
Lives to serve man and never to rule over him. Foul and corrupt are they.
A Dorian le vamos a poner esta.
Let me know if you need anything. You're back. And in one piece.
Farewell.
Está re bugueado.
Greetings. We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Qué raro que no tenga,
Greetings. We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
no tenga conversación solas.
No thanks,
We know if you need anything. A fine young man like you must get hungry.
Well, that's mages all over. So many robes, I bet all of Ferelden lost their curtains. I'll just be the other side of Haven, just in case.
She's one of the normal dirty ones.
Do you have a problem with our new allies? With mages?
No problem with mages. You're fine, right? My problem is magic. If mages sat on their hands, everything would be fine. I mean, yay, freedom. Great for them. Over there, away from me.
Is the Inquisition what you thought it would be?
Well, you're dragging people together, suppose that's something. You're gonna need more trebuchets if you're going after the sky. Or, you know, ladders.
What do you think about the people who have gathered?
Again, with your people. Right, which ones?
Voy a preguntarle sobre Dorian, ¿no?
What about Dorian?
He's fun. Could lose a bit more to Vinter.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here. Uh-huh.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
A ver, vamos a terminar esta canción a ver si la tengo o no. Creo que sí, pues igual ya teníamos 13.
Nightingale's eyes, secret lies in the earth. Rain's tears they cry, but all the while softly lie and spy on you. Nightingale's eyes, what will they find left behind? Craven as a spy, with heart remiss, but those who could not find the truth. Blinded, so we're hiding.
No, este creo que ya. Sí, este ya lo habíamos escuchado.
The Mage Rebellion joins the Inquisition. I've got to admit that's a twist I didn't see coming. One thing you saw in the future worries me. I mean, it was all bad. But red lyrium and Ferelden, infecting people and growing out of them, that's bad. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
We can't leave a single piece of that lyrium out in the wild.
I'm with you on that. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
I was planning to put my feet up, maybe grab a nap. You?
Whatever I do, it'll be as far from Cassandra as I can get. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know. Need something?
I've read your tale of...
That's a pretty common reaction. Need something?
Can I ask...
You want to talk about me? Need something?
I want to know...
I'll tell you what I can.
Walk safely, Herald of Andraste.
Voy a agarrar acá porque me acuerdo que nos habían dado objetos. Cinturón de granadas, hacha de no sé qué. Bueno, vendo todo. Estaba pensando, mientras se hacen las... Bueno, ya comenté que voy a ir acá. Vamos a hacer las... Creo que ahora ya las puedo hacer, pero estamos en nivel 11. De paso podría hacer estas misiones. Por ejemplo, podría venir acá. Podría venir con Blackboard y con Vivienne. Y agarrar estas cosas. Total, les cambio la ropa. Incluso podría hacer esta parte también. Creo que era nivel 12 acá los dragones. Aunque sea explorar acá un poco. Nivel 15. Bueno, esto lo dejo. Vamos a ponerle... Ah, esto es un bug, me parece. Sí, es un bug. Igual con el casco no se va a ver igual. Y el otro lo tiene Dorian, ¿no? Esta cosa ya tiene... Ah, hay alguno que tiene su propio sombrero. A ver, pará. ¿Dónde está Dorian? ¿Se le puede poner este? Sí. Vamos con Vivienne, con Blackboard y bueno, y con Barrett.
Anything you can spare will help the...
Ah, y de paso le saco a los otros, le saco todo. Vestoro tiene esta hacha, esta armadura. Se lo vendo todo. Cuatro de oro, no, no vale nada.
Foul and corrupt are they?
Nice work at Redcliffe. I could help the mages learn to work with Inquisition soldiers if you like. Not that the chief has any apostates in the group.
Can you think of any other tasks suitable for the chargers?
The Templars have holed up in Theronfar Redoubt. No idea what's happening inside. I could have some of the boys poke around. If nothing else, we'd get a better look at the land.
We'll talk later.
Ah, ves, no, dos operaciones, por eso. Vale la pena hablar con Krem. Ahora, bueno, después volvemos a ver si lo podemos hacer.
So, that Tevinter guy sent you into the future?
I've got no problem with normal magic, but Tevinter goes beyond all reason.
I know, right? The Vints are always pushing. Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it. What can I do for you?
See you later, Bull.
See ya.
Good day to you.
Smithing is... Here, have something to drink.
There was never going to be an easy answer to the Mage dilemma. What you did for the Mages took courage. You gave them a chance. Everyone deserves one. Inquisitor?
What do you think of the Inquisition?
You already know what I think of your forces. I'm not sure what else there is to say.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
Dorian? He's arrogant. He preens himself. But you already know that. He doesn't even hide it.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge. Yes?
Nothing right now.
Tenemos que volver a la mesa. A ver la operación esa. Y tengo que preguntarle a Josephine una cosa.
And what are we supposed to do, exactly?
What you always do. Complain.
We've already spoken with Commander Cullen. No one listens. We want better quarters. We want the Templars kept at a distance. And some respect for...
This is not the Circle. You mages are our allies, not our wards. Act like it.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
Is there an issue with the mages? Can I help?
The mages are here as equals. They need to get used to what that means. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
You would have done differently, I suppose.
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
You're flattering me.
I'm not. This always happens. Nobody ever takes my meaning.
You should see your face.
I'm thinking less flattering things now. Let's hope the breach has your sense of humor. Go on, then.
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
I'll let you get back to work.
Surely you have better things
A ver,
to
le voy a
do.
preguntar.
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about your brother.
I'd rather not.
I'll let you get back to work.
No, todavía no.
The mages are ready to approach the breach. I pray this will be enough to close it.
You weren't happy with how I brought in the mages. Do you have a problem with me as well?
Of course not. I have no intention of endangering your alliance, but I must ensure the safety of those here. That concern extends to the mages. They are putting themselves at risk for the Inquisition, as are you. Any precautions taken are meant to aid you, nothing more. I hope you will accept them as such.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
I should let you get back to work.
See reason, Ezezsg.
Word is
We
that the
cannot
mages
stay here.
will be joining us here in Haven. I hope you've chosen your allies wisely, Harold.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Yes?
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
With silence, I knew then, and crossed my heart with shame.
Good day to you.
What do the people...
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They
Any thoughts?
Who did you mean?
You must have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room. Still, I do believe he has your best interest at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Ya, ahora hay un bug que no me indican cuando termina. Bueno, ahí se está haciendo Leliana. No, se pasó el tiempo. ¿Cuánto tenía? Como casi una hora. Se pasó el tiempo volando. De que me quedé ahí charlando. A ver, vamos a esperar que termine. ¿Cuánto quedan? 6 minutos. No sé si tenía que hacer algo más. Vamos a ir con Blackboard. Si viene Barrick. Viene la prueba. ¿Qué aprueba? Debe ser la operación, ¿no?
Whatever is the matter this time, dear?
Ya la fiel, ya más o menos, ya le asigné los puntos a todos. Porque la quiero poner, vamos a poner la Liliana ahí. Cinco minutos, pero
Let's see what we have.
3 horas. Joder. Bueno. Me parece que tenemos que dejar que termine esto para después seguir esto. Pues si yo ahora hago esta misión creo que no se completa, me parece. Bueno, vamos. También tenemos acá. Estaba todo y acá también creo que estaba todo. Y otro también.
Should we look around?
We've scouted the area.
I think the Inquisition could benefit from
Ahí está,
this.
¿ves? Esto es lo que decía. Si está presente, aprueba. Ah, mirá, en la ciénaga desértica. Ah, puede ser que el que nos falta acá. Bueno, este mapa no lo tenemos todavía. Puede ser que el que esté acá está dentro de la puerta que no puede abrir. Este lo vamos a dejar también. Bueno, este es... Ahí viene.
Something like that.
It's good to have commerce restored. Many goods here.
Vamos a explorar esa zona.
Nothing to report, sir.
Va a estar ahí jodiendo el dragón. Ah, hay una beta de líquido rojo, ¿no? Bueno, esta zona ya está. No vamos a avanzar porque está el dragón, pero por lo menos hasta esa zona. Bueno, tenemos las grietas. Y faltaba ese, ¿no?
The entire country reeks of wet dog. How charming.
Good find.
Hay un puesto de tal acá. No lo había visto. ¿Dónde cayó y viene? Está chunga esta. Está chunga esta. Bueno, ese vamos a esperar. Vamos a ver este de acá. Pero antes lo pude tocar. Ah, son muy fuertes estos. La otra también nos costó. auto que hizo más adelante, lo dejo. Este no lo había hecho. Los pedestales del alto enrolan la cueva.
Good luck sealing those rifts. Good luck sealing those rifts.
Burned child is a blessing upon his parents and onto the maker.
Stay safe out there.
Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over
I will
him.
take these injury reports
Foul
to
and
research in the
corrupt
name.
are they who have taken his gift and turned it against his